Good afternoon, everyone. It is September the 30th, time to end the month and end the quarter. And we're still playing for a 67, 68 close. Earlier this morning we were looking for a 70 close, but it looks like it might be a little bit lower right now. We came in this morning wanting to sell 79s to 81s. That was our preferred sell zone. And we had our first buy at 65, 67, and our second buy at 60 to 62. And the news this morning was all bad for the E-mini. Beautiful retest failure setup right here. It was sold off the opening. Your first place to get short was in the 70 area. And the market did trade down to just below 63. So there's your first trade. If you weren't a value area low buyer, a limit buyer at 62, then the first place you had really to come in, or a V-bottom buyer, you'd have been on a V-bottom long in the 65, 66 area. The next place you could have gotten long was when you took out the setback trade, which is designated by the letter B. You were long in the 70 area. And the market did trade up to, I believe, 78 and a quarter. So both these trades were winners. This one happened quickly. You didn't have a shot at all to get short and to get long in this 65, 67 area. It was straight down, making new lows. And right here's the first time the market made a new high. Off the top right here, V-top, a lot of swinging back and forth. This is really, with everything going, our whole methodology, if you're not a V-top seller, you can be short in the 75 area, or when you take out this bar's low in the 73. So 73, 75 off of our prescribed setup. Very, very conservative entry off the second one. Pretty aggressive up here. Then the market traded down to 65. So really, really good trading today. Lots of volatility back and forth. Right in here, we've got a higher low, so you're long in the 63 area, and with patience, you've made it back up to 68.50. So really, really good trading today. Lots of volatility, a lot to work with. And the end of the month, end of the quarter, the 50-lot trader, you can see, has been the primary source of support. They are defending their compensation for the month, for the quarter, so to speak. So we had a good day in the E-mini. Taking a look at the big picture stuff in the E-mini, and there's a lot of supposition out here that the top is in, and what we don't see, we don't really get that third or fourth day of selling the market, so we're waiting to see if we can do that. But off this structure, with a new move starting 3 days ago, we definitely are dealing with a B. We've got a higher low and a higher high here, but not by much. So as long as we can't really take out this 80 area, plus or minus, the market's to sell. A couple of spots have been mentioned, 50, really 48 to 52 is one area that a lot of people are talking about, allowing them to go back and retest this breakout that came, I believe, at 53 and a quarter. Then we have that where the V period broke it out. The start of the move up came in the 38 area. So we've got 48 to 52, and we've got 38 are being mentioned by the tech services right now. So depending on where we close, we can sell strength or buy weakness tomorrow, and we'll see how that shakes out. Looking at the F2 screen tomorrow, we start off the day with news. The ADP number comes early, well before the session. They're looking for plus 202. That'll be the first news focus. Now, it doesn't have a lot of correlation with Friday's non-farm payroll number, but they're both looking for about 200,000 in job gains. ISM services at 58.5 will be the next number, and if these numbers come in as forecast, they will be supportive. for the indexes. And the easiest trade to see is that this supportive news doesn't rally the market. And if the supportive news doesn't rally the market, then I think we will get our test of that 53, 57 area, was low volume area right here. And the absolute low volume number is 55.5. So that 53, 55 area is pretty good support. We do have a V pattern when you look at the entire day on the assumption that we close it in the 67, 68 area. Last rotate up was 71, so 70, 72 will be sell 1. And then 75, 77 will be sell 2. On the buy side, our 60, 62 area is the first buy. And then we're back down to our 55, 57, where we've had several buy orders, and you can see right here we've been able to fill it in this area 3 times. Now, if we get down here the 4th time, you definitely want to see a setup. You don't want to take this trade with a resting limit buy, because if the market's so good, what are we doing down here 4 times? Just a little bit of common sense on how you play that. I mean, the first time into an area you can knife catch. That's okay, because the professional trading community will be with you. But the 3rd or 4th time into it, the professional trading community will be taking a look to see if it holds or not. And I think you should too. Based on the fundamental news, which really doesn't count all that much on the indexes, or hasn't to date, the short side should be the more favorable side. And then there are problems in Hong Kong, there are problems in Europe, there are problems in Ukraine and Russia, there are problems all over the Middle East, risk-on investments in those situations usually are not the preferred investment. Okay, looking at the note, this morning we had a sell in the 20 to 24 area. That's where the market opened and basically held at 20. Then our second sell zone was 27 to 31. The high of the day was 27. Very, very slow trading. There were several hours there where the market did not move 230 seconds. So not a lot of opportunity in financials right now. The attractor is down here in this 24.12 to 16 area. You can just see it right here. That's where the volume is. And obviously we've got resistance starting at 24.28 to as high as 25.12. That's where resistance is. So we have an inside day that tends to mean trading range. The ADP number at 202 would allow the Fed to continue to cut their support for the market. ISM manufacturing index at 58.5 is a strong number that would allow the Fed to continue to cut their support for the market. So the news if asked forecast would be more supportive for indexes than it would be for the financials. Looking at the F2 screen, I have a double distribution day. This morning, it was quiet. And then when we made the high up there at 26.27, it really got quiet. And you can just see we have these long periods where the market just moves sideways and doesn't do anything. Even worse after lunch. I mean, when we made the highs up here. So very quiet market and very little opportunity, frankly. Here we are at 21.5 with news expected to be supported for the indexes. If the indexes sell, we should be higher. If the indexes rally back with strength, we should be lower. So the first buy area, it's very aggressive, and I'd like to get it done in the 17 or 18 area, is 17 to 21, depending on what the indexes do overnight. And this is the area where you'd like to engage the market. The second buy zone is 9 to 13. And there's a lot of support back in this 8 to 12 area, and I'm pretty comfortable getting long down here, unless the news is really, really bad. But number one buy is pretty aggressive. The sell's pretty easy to see. Sell failure to take out 27, 29 and a half. And then it'll be 3 to 7. The 21 is pretty aggressive, but it would depend on what the E-mini's going to do this afternoon. I really can't see it falling out of bed, so I really like, the long side of the market. 18s are better. Well, Peter had a successful trading today in the bond. I had to work for it and had to sweat bullets for a while. Again, it just really tough trading. When we started out this morning, Peter and I looked at the market, and a limit sell at 13 said would work, and trying to buy threes or better would work based on the opening and that first move up to 4-5. Failing that, a buy stop at 6 was the trade. So here we find ourselves on a weak close. We've got some support in the 20 to as high as 28 area. So we're going to make it 21, 25. We'll favor the low end for the overnight market, and then 13 to 17. And last rotate up stopped at 01. Then we have a high of 8. We're at 30. So selling failure to take out 30, 38.04. And going to allow it to get stops above the buck, but if it starts down, you can get short right there. And then the next trade would be 7 to 11. And frankly, my price bands to be long or short, the number 2s have worked out really great. My number 1s haven't worked out worth a damn. Pardon my French. Imagine that the French get blamed for everybody's cussing. That can't make them happy. Oh, excuse me, I cussed again. Blame it on the French. I guess it's better than blaming it on the Canadians, right? Failing that, of course, there is a huge French-speaking component in Canada, so maybe when we blame Canada, we're still blaming the French. I've never figured that out. Ooh, so we're drifting lower right here. Looks like we're going to be a little bit lower in the bond. Never did find anything specific to tie to the selling in the metals and crude oil, the actual physical commodities today. They just blamed on currency woes, margin calls, long liquidation, but not a specific article to tie to it. We've talked about a long time going for stops beneath the buck. So, I mean, letting them get stops below this will make 5 plus or minus 1 buy 1. It's very aggressive. And then we'll make 99 to 01 for buy 2. We've been talking about getting stops below 1200 for a long time. We're currently at 7.8. Last rotate up stopped at 11, so it's aggressive, but 10-12 is sell 1. Then 15 to 17, sell 2. Both gold and crude are one headline away from an explosive rally, and so I don't like going home long or especially short on the close of New York's trading day. I don't mind getting short when London opens up, because the bad news out of the Far East and the Middle East and Russia is probably behind us. But the news out of Europe was deflation. That would make you want to sell gold. The news out of Russia was that they're going to curtail gas shipments to the EU. Probably going to try to keep it in a stress situation, but not catastrophic cutback, because they need to be seen as a reliable supplier if they want to keep the gas flowing. But it's just, you never, when you start this game of sanctions and retaliation, business doesn't like it. Business hates change. They like it just the way it is, because they're making money right now, or they can plan for making money right now. They don't want anybody rocking the boat. And if a businessman had his choice, whether coming out and starting and running something himself, or if you're a large business buying the government to run interference for you, they would prefer to buy protection through the government, through rules and regulations. Business, everybody say, well, capitalism. Capitalism is the best form for an economy, best structure known to man. People have laughed about it. It's the least of a lot of bad choices, but fascism is what an established business would like. And that way they don't have to innovate or do anything. They just have to keep the regulators and the government happy. So we've said stops below 90. That's where this market has been headed for a long time. I still believe that's true. After a trend day down like this, we usually get some retracements. So this 92 area up here, 92 and a quarter, is prime sell territory. Last rotate up stopped at 50. So if this selling is going to continue and really take off over the night, we're not going to get much above 50. So that's going to be sell 1. Sell 2 gets us about 50% into these single prints right here, maybe a little bit more. That's usually what happens after we've had a hard break in crude. Letting them go a little bit lower. This is a very, very bold trade, but buying 75s to 01 on the idea that we won't get 2 days of a trending market. Tomorrow will be a pause day, and then 25 to 50 will be buy 2. Obviously, the first trade you want to take is a short to see if we can take out today's lows. I do like the short side of crude better unless something changes in Iraq. Okay, Russia delivered a blow to Europe. They pretty much guaranteed them the recession would deepen with the news that they're going to kill gas shipments to Europe, to the EU. Again, we're in that same situation. After a trend day, we usually see a pause day. The damage was done overnight, so we've got this low up here in the 26.75 area. We've got today's high at 40, so it looks like we're going to get stops above the day session high in mind, 45, 55, sell 1, and 65, 75, sell 2. Again, London will be the key, and we've got this little 2-letter ledge here, and we've got that low right there. So the 60 area to 70 area is prime resistance, and if that area holds, then we should be short. We are headed lower. Goldman said 125. If Goldman is wrong, we won't quite make 125. The market will snap back. If we do make it to 125, we're going to go lower, in my opinion. So I do like the short side of the market. We're at 34 right now. The breakout came at 12, so retesting this breakout, it's very, very aggressive, but 10 to 20 is buy 1. And again, you know that I don't like the long side of the market. I like to go long only in covering shorts. So that's it for September 30th. Another month is behind us. Can you believe that? Time flies when you're having fun. Yeah, I think we all are. You all have a great evening. I'll see you bright and early in the morning, 6:45 a.m. Central. I'm going to work with Chris this afternoon to see if everything is working right with the